Hello, folks. Welcome to the Queer Spirit channel. Shakti here, giving a live stream launch for Shaman 2 Through the Veils. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you, and welcome to the Queer Spirits live stream. Hello, everybody. Hi. Thanks for the messages. I can see them. Okay, I'm going to kick us off. I was just by just say why I'm doing this. The intention behind my Shaman books is to expand the conversation around consciousness, who we are, what is this thing we all have in common, consciousness awareness. The thing that the modern belief system of the modern world, science, does not have much to say about, but which the proud and profound spiritual traditions of the world have been exploring and finding answers about for millennia. And isn't it time that we listened? Second intention is to expand the conversation around what it means to be queer in a spiritual sense. The history of queer spirit and the spiritual roles that queer beings have played around the planet in culture throughout time, and what we might play in the world today, what our role might be. Also, finally, my third intention is to encourage more communion with the dead. I'm launching this as we go to the Samhain season, when the veils are thin, when the ancestors are close. And my intention is to encourage us to be in more conversation and more communion with our friends in spirit, because they're very close. And especially at this time of year, they're right here, ready to connect with us. So before I give a little bit of reading from the book, I want to just invite us all to just feel a bit of the queer spirit flowing through us all here and now tonight, wherever we may be in the world. Just let's have a breath together, folks. Join me, please, and just take a deep breath in. Feel ourselves here tonight on the Scorpio new moon. Feel the queer spirit in your body. Feel that queer spirit in your heart. Feel the queer spirit flowing through the mind. Feel the queer spirit in your soul. Shaman 2 is available in paperback and as an ebook on lulu.com, the Shakti Lifestyle page. I will also have copies at the next London Full Moon Drum Circle at a discount price. Like every good story, it starts with once upon a time. So I want to invite you to get comfortable and take this little journey with me, wherever these words may take us in the next few minutes. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. For once upon a time, all the world lived together. There was no separation between matter and spirit. Humans talked daily to the dead, also to the trees, to the plants, to the animals, and they remembered also to honor the fairy elementals who keep nature in balance. Gradually, humanity lost the connection, became obsessed with the material plane, but still most could remember spirit as the great mother, holding, loving, feeding us all, until the men of war rose to dominate the world, set a father god on her throne, dictating laws and condemning sinners. But still, the people could mostly still recall that spirit was real and that they had lived before in other forms and would do so evermore. It was the Roman emperor, not the church, that eradicated reincarnation from the Christian worldview. Male priests seized the spiritual power that had long belonged to the women, to transgender and queer people. Male priests claimed they held the keys to heaven And instead of ecstatic rites that brought people into direct touch with divine presence, people had to go to church to hear the preacher tell them that God could only be known after death, and only if they obeyed the church's rules in life. All this was to serve to create a frightened population, forced to be soldiers, workers, slaves, and nowadays, of course, consumers, doing the bidding of their masters, kept docile by capitalism, media, alcohol, and drugs. We now no longer tend to even believe in the transcendent possibilities of our soul. We tend to have no more sense even of the ability to be whole, to be one with creation, to rise daily to a natural elation, dancing with the spirit of life, remembering the source of existence is love. But in these darker times, as ignorance dominates the planet, hearts are opening and souls are remembering that that's not how it has to be. The biggest threat to the military-industrial complex is people daring to be free, daring to remember that I am another you and you are another me, seeing through the lies all the way to infinity. Everything we know will change. We can live multidimensionally. We can enter the dance of synchronicity, unravel the knots and blocks in our soul. We can make remembrance of oneness the greatest goal, restoring again the holy whole, and each one of us has a role. Add a breath. Feel the spirit. Feel the spirit. Sodomy and sorcery are ancient bedfellows. Sapphics once served Aphrodite, the goddess of love, and Artemis, Diana, goddess of the moon and the hunt. Transgendered holy souls served in temples for millennia, until the men of war, adopting the sign of the crucified Messiah, sought to take control, destroy the holy whole. They sent the queers to the gutter and the women to the bedroom. But the tide is turning and homosex is out of the closet. Queer spirit is on the rise. So it's time to expose some lies, time to reclaim the body, holy in all its parts, and time to reclaim queerness as a sacred, magical art. Shakti here, I awoke to death, woke to life through death, woke to spirituality through sexuality, discovered that love causes us to evolve, and that if we live in eternity, we don't have to get old. And eternity exists at the core of our being. Physicists say it. Mystics have always said it. Ravers take drugs to feel it. Everything is energy, moving, changing constantly. We humans are its channels, conduits. We create the world we live in. We've not yet understood just how powerful we are. Like children, we've enjoyed our toys, unaware for a long time that we've been destroying the planet that enables us to live, using up its resources and wiping out many of its other inhabitants. Like madmen, we have developed technologies that we can also use to destroy ourselves. Not realizing we are all one, we compete, we fight, we destroy, ignoring the strongest impulse in us, which is to love, to live in peace, to celebrate our lives. How many on earth want to continue to live the old dramas of conflict? The earth is in crisis, and time is running out. it's the ancestor time of year, and the book is dotted with quotations from various inspirational writers and queer ancestors. And I'd like to offer you now from a few words from Edward Carpenter, 19th century gay philosopher, pioneer, very much an opening, important ancestor for us at this time. His vision was political, spiritual, social, cultural, and I'd like to offer this line from him. We are arriving at one of the most fruitful and important turning points in the history of the race. The self, capital S, is entering into relation with the body. 4. That the individual should conceive and know himself not a toy and chance byproduct of his own bodily heredity. There's a buzz. Sorry about the buzz, folks. Don't know what's causing the buzz. Not as a toy and chance byproduct of his own bodily heredity, but as an identified continuous with the eternal self, of which his body is a manifestation. Is indeed to begin a new life, and to enter a hitherto undreamed of world of possibility. This transformation, whilst the greatest and most difficult, is also, of course, the most difficult, most greatest and most wonderful, is also the most difficult in man's evolution for him to effect. For it may roughly be said that the whole of the civilization period in man's history is the preparation for it. Sorry, Edward, got a bit buzzed there. I hear that we're buzzing. We have a little buzz. It's the laptop issue, I'm afraid. I'm not sure what's causing it. But it's time now for a little prayer. May the spirit return to the people from whom she was ripped apart. May the spirit return to the people as the queer healers remember their art. The warrior swords of the crucified Christ from the 4th century onwards closed down our temples and slaughtered the trans priestesses, the women witches, gender fluid shamans and the male sodomites, a persecution lasting over 1,000 years, intensifying from the 11th century onwards. The political state took over this persecution from the 16th century. The death penalty remained in place in the UK for sodomy until 1861. But the climate of fear, arrests and blackmail for gay men hit another peak in the 20th century. And while the change over the last 50 years since Stonewall has been incredible, no wonder we are a segment of humanity with health issues. Of course, we're a people with emotional baggage that needs to be addressed. The issues arising from HIV and chemsex are clear symptoms of this wound. The historical persecution of queer peoples needs to be understood and addressed. Our queer spirit, repressed for so long, needs room to breathe, room to heal, room to become what it truly is. Still, in the world today, so many of our queer kind have to live secret lives, have to live with fear, with the danger of arrest, violence, death. The roots of homophobia, transphobia, and biphobia are patriarchal and religious. They are about power and about domination. Across the world, our gay liberation is linked to the liberation of the whole of humanity, to our evolution as a species, into wisdom, into multidimensionality, into love. We are healers and we are called. This is our time. Time to change the story about who we are. No longer the sick or the sinning, no longer the outcast. We are the wounded healers, the scouts and shamans, the mediators, witches, peace bringers, connectors of worlds. We are the mediators for the dying. Feel the spirit. This is a quotation from Andrew Raven's book, Two Flutes Playing. You, as soul, create many bodies to express yourself through in different times, in different places, as female and male, as straight and gay. You were born many times, and you die many times. Death is that part of the soul's process of recreating itself. The work of gay midwives to the dying is not easy, but you can tap into the place where you have done it before. You can tap into your guide. You can tap into the source of love which permeates the universe. Love binds us all together. No one is separate from love, from spirit. And death is not a separation. It is a change of frequency. Thirsty work. Thanks for staying with me. We're going a little bit further. Let's talk about sex. Sex can open the gates to heaven, the multidimensional self. That's part of what gay sex is really for in the grand scheme of creation. It's what we were honored for in the pagan temples around the world. The phallus was once a sacred symbol of God. The body was holy in the age of the goddess. The temple, the spirit, divine. And our task in the 21st century is to renew this understanding for this time. That's why gay sex is so much in fashion. So the old ways are rising again. Human spirit seeks freedom from its chains, the Aquarian light shining on Piscean pain. Some will fear annihilation, but some will see that we're in an acceleration of frequencies that is not just affecting the climate. The collective human soul is bursting to give birth to light-filled rainbow consciousness, where all are seen for their worth and the magic ones return. Gatekeepers, witches, shamans and fools, time to reunite sapphism and sodomy with sorcery. Gender variance with the gods of old. Time to redefine ourselves, not by how we fuck, but by our hearts and minds, by the gifts of spirit we bring for the whole. We need to find our sanctuaries, our sacred groves, our tribes, to reclaim our gifts and strengthen our souls, so that the healing of our planet home may commence. And the healing of the collective human whole, a process in which sexuality, so long denied, despised, and analyzed, plays a crucial, sacred role. For the universe is a love story. It's a tale of sex and passion. From the atom to the human, everything in creation seeks connection. And that's why, for countless centuries, the holiest of symbols were the cut and the erection. Cut off by religion from the sacred in sexuality, from the holiness of the flesh, denied the generous polyamorous potential of love, we've been cut off from the source within. From the eternal dance of the lover and beloved, we've been deluded by the concept of sin. So, to tune into the romantic dance of the subtle plane, We need to be aware that we're existing within a divine game. To attune the body and mind to be free of guilt and shame about sex. For the infinite way, for the way to the infinite source of love is to marry the male and female on the inside and release the primal soul self. To be a raw, passionate lover of life is the source of health, the source of true inner wealth. Love is a game of mirrors. I look, I feel, I see another version of me. We are all searching for the mirrors that show us who we are, looking for the hearts and minds that open the soul and make us feel more whole. We've been told that God is love, and how delightfully simple that is. Love is, after all, a presence, not a person, a presence within us, in all things, seeking to connect and grow. In the game of mirrors, we walk in the present. In the game of mirrors, we drop the pretense that love can ever be limited. Love reflected back one-on-one has literally nowhere to go. That's why our mirrors creak, break, shatter. Love is an expanding force. It's divine, not yours or mine. If it's not expanding, moving, creating, it'll explode or fade in time. In the game of mirrors, love reflects to infinity. At the infinite speed of love, all boundaries disappear. So does all fear. We remember why we are here. And that's why all life seeks to play the game of mirrors. Lovers often seek the one, but misunderstand the search completely. It's not the one to complete us that we need. It's the one who lives in everyone that we really seek. In the game of mirrors, the one is looking for their way home. But our egos deceive us and we end up alone. But when the ego is surrendered and love allowed to expand in the game of mirrors, we can become one. You are another me, I am another you. The love in our souls, we can find our way through. For the game of mirrors is the way home to freedom of the spirit, freedom of the soul, freedom of the body, and from any gendered role. Freedom to love and find out just who we are. Come on, faggots, dykes and queers, let's reunite the earth and stars. Let's come on out the bars and proclaim who we are, why we're here, why we're queer, why we're cosmic. Let's reclaim the magic of the goddess of queer priestesses. Let's reclaim the magic of Dionysian rites, of pan worship and sacred sexual ceremony in nature with our lovers. Let's reclaim the magic of the inner child, of the inner marriage, of sexuality as a divine gift that reveals the soul, that reveals the mystery of existence. Let's reclaim the magic of breaking away from the stifling norm of being alive in human form. How do we do that? Well, to conclude, I'd just like to share that in my 20-odd years of studying the spirit, I've realized that the dance of spirit on earth is reflected in the patterns in the sky. And once we get that we are the dance, we can stretch our wings and fly. To attune to the seasons, the sun, the moon, the planets, is to find the way home. It's the way out of delusion, disconnection, disaffection. It's the time for humanity to renew the pact with life herself. Love and spirit connect us all. Through prayer and compassion, that's how we answer the call. We build webs of love, we build cones of power, invoking the return of her magicians, bringing humanity back to the way in these dark 21st century days. The truth is within, and it's out there too. Christian Gnostics, heretics, Kabbalists, and Sufi mystics have long taught the way. Buddhist and Hindu sages were bringing the light of non-duality to the West since the 19th century. But the last thing the desire-driven, power-hungry Western world wanted to hear was that the ego was controlling the show and out of control. Our own European earth-based wisdom so long suppressed, we'd long forgotten our intrinsic belonging. Yet now, as Mother Earth shakes and fear stalks the world, soon everyone on the planet may scream out to be whole. The planet is in crisis, and humanity is facing an end, or is everybody facing an accelerated discovery of self? Yay! Thanks for listening, folks. Super. This will be online for the future, and if the recording's too bad, I'll have another go at it and do it again. But hey, it's sure fun to read some poetry to the world. As we approach this Shaman time, blessed be queer spirits. May the goddess fill our souls with joy, with love, with laughter, with light and rainbows. And I hope to see lots of you at the Drum Circle the 15th of November, the Wheatsheaf Hall in London, where I'll have copies of this on sale. There are copies on sale at lulu.com, Shop Dealer store page, and paperback and ebook. I've got lots more to say. If you like it, I'll do more. Om Shanti, really fun. Have blessed Shaman, everybody. And see you soon, somewhere soon. In the rainbows, in the light, in the sunshine, in the moonlight. We're here, we're queer, we're cosmic. May our queer spirit run free. Good night.